went to Slippery Rock since 1927. Slippery Rock University is about 52 miles north of Pittsburgh. Good school.
There's Pedroia. A chopper to third. Freeze gets the high hop and makes an error. And the Cardinals defensively have been sloppy here in game one.
2 errors on Pete Cosma, the shortstop, and now 1 on David Freeze. An easy play in between hop for Adams. Careless night for the Cards with the gloves.
And as you said early, it's not typical.
No, it's not.
For this Cardinal team. It's an error on Freeze, his second of the postseason. That means Maness is out. Segrist is coming in, with Ortiz coming up as the 7th inning continues here at Fenway. Draft pick by the Cardinals. Former starter in the minor leagues, he has blossomed into a shutdown left-hander in the Cardinal bullpen, and David Ortiz gets his first look at it. The rookie can bring it, mid-90s. Ortiz gets under it to right. Will it carry? At the wall, it's gone. 7-0. Red Sox lead in game one. Another postseason home run for David Ortiz. He was ready for the Segrist heat.
High fastball right around the letters. It could have been, were it not for Carlos Beltran, his second home run of the night. As Beltran made a nice play going over the fence and pulling back what would have been a home run with the bases loaded. Back in the second.
And now Napoli ready for the Segrist fastball. This one came in and left. Got under it, and it still got out by plenty.
The thing about Ortiz, even at that age, the advanced age, 38 years old, he can still carry home runs over the fence. You don't think they're going to make it, but when they get up, seem to pick up speed.
Ortiz hit a home run off Wood. 1 out, nobody on. The 2-1 is popped up. Shallow left center. Ellsbury is there. He takes charge. 2 out.
As a matter of fact, Joe, I can't come into this ballpark without thinking of the 1999 All-Star Game, started by Pedro Martinez, and the honor and homage paid to the great one and only Teddy Ball Game, Ted Williams.
And Lester's finished, and they'll let him hear it here at Fenway. Saluted by the fans, welcomed back to the dugout by his teammates. He's now pitched 13 1/3 scoreless innings in World Series play. Went 5 2/3 scoreless in Colorado, Game 4 in 2007. You ought to be awfully proud of the way he pitched here tonight as John Jay faces Tazawa and fouls the first pitch away, strike 1. Jay 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out. Tazawa, part of the big three at the back end of the bullpen for Boston. Tazawa, Breslow, and Uehara. This postseason's gone 19 innings, allowed 2 runs. That's it on 13 hits. Jim Leyland, the manager of the Detroit Tigers, as Ryan Dempster gets loose. said, summing up that American League Championship Series, their starters were good. Carlos Martinez just turned 22 toward the end of September from the Dominican Republic. You see the numbers during this postseason. He has pitched his way to the top of the list because of stuff like that, just slinging home a 98-mile-an-hour for strike one to the pinch hitter Daniel Nava, batting for Johnny Gomes. That's strike two. This guy just has, they say, and it's probably overused, but electric stuff. That's what this is.
I was thinking about that electricity. I don't know who came up with that term, but whoever did must have been thinking about Carlos Martinez.
Gomes finished for the night. Martinez takes over, and no real surprise for Mike Matheny. He's got a young bullpen. He's got guys that have so much talent out there, but they're short on experience, and so here in the World Series on the road at Fenway, why not get them in the ballgame?
Or you can do it in an American League city because you don't have to pinch hit for your pitcher or the pitcher spot. You can more or less bring in pitchers without paying the price of using a hitter. Can't do that in the National League city, of course.
And that's worth talking about as we get ready for Game 3 on Saturday in St. Louis. Here's one into left, into the corner. It takes a hop and bangs around before Holiday can get it back in. And Daniel Nava, who hit 300 plus during the regular season and has found his way to the bench in favor of him, Johnny Gomes hits a double.
And nothing but good words by John Farrell for a man who is understanding like Daniel Nava. You're 8th in the American League in hitting, and you have Johnny Gomes, a right-handed hitter, hitting in front of you or playing in front of you, playing 6 games, 6 of the 10 prior to this game, and you accept it. So these Red Sox are teaming with team players.
Here's Xander Bogaerts up to get it. And this is a 22-year-old facing a 21-year-old at the plate here in Game 1 of the World Series. We talked a lot about Bogaerts during the ALCS. He's from Aruba, speaks 4 languages, was going to be 5, but he dumped out of French. Thought it was too much. He's got superstar written all over him. You sit down with him, and
so aware.
He's just not scared at all of the big stage.
He's just so aware of things around him. Just can't say enough about this young man from the island of Aruba.
That goes back to the backstop, and over to third goes Nava with nobody out.
That might have been a cross-sell right there. Looked like he was waiting for the local. He got the express, and when you're catching a guy like Carlos Martinez, that can be terrifying. He had no idea that fastball was coming.
Umpire John Hirschbeck jumping over the left shoulder of Molina. That whistled right by his ear. It's a wild pitch. There's a good breaking ball from Martinez. 2-2. Infielders are in. Nava at third, nobody out. Already 7-0. Boston on top. Well hit on a line at Holiday for a sac fly. Nava can walk home, and Bogaerts has got his first postseason RBI. Bet number 72 will be in the lineup tomorrow night against Michael Walker.
And you can bet he'll have a different number next year.
Eric Karros is dialed in, and you'll hear from him on Fox Sports 1. Daniel Nava stays in the game. He's in left. And Ryan Dempster takes over on the mound after Tozawa got the final out in the 8th. 8-9 record this season for Dempster, but a guy who used to pitch at the back end of the bullpen for the Cubs. He delivers a strike to Matt Holliday. And while we talked about, Tim, some of the young guys getting a chance to get their feet wet in this World Series for the Cardinals, I can understand why John Farrell doesn't want to bring Uehara out of the bullpen for these Cardinals to get a look at the splitter before the game's on the line. It's an 8-0 game. Uehara's getting loose just in case, but right now it's Dempster. Holiday 1 for 3. That's strike 2.
Well, Joe, when you think about the rest of the American League, though, they've had a look at Uehara also all year long, and they can't do anything.
It doesn't matter.
It does not matter whether you're facing him the first time or 10th time. The guy's unbelievable. Trevor Rosenthal, the closer for the Cardinals, who's turned in to be the closer, is so overpowering. That's why we said earlier that closers on both teams.
Here's one into left center, well hit. Back at the wall, it's gone. A home run for Holiday, and the Cardinals are on the board. It's 8-1. Third postseason home run for Matt Holiday this year. That ball was pounded into left center.
Matt putting all of his 245 pounds behind that one. Over the Boston Be Strong sign, left center fastball.
Red Sox win game 1. Dempster getting the final outs. A big night for David Ortiz, who drove home 3 and almost had his second grand slam of this postseason. 8-1 is the final in a 3-hour, 17-minute game 1. Napoli with a big swing in the first inning, unloaded the bases with a 3-run double against Wainwright. First-year manager John Farrell giving high fives. Second-year manager Mike Matheny was watching the celebration, and he peels away and goes back into the Cardinal clubhouse as the Red Sox are up 1-0, and down we go to Kenny Rosenthal.
Yeah, you got to run on the field, but glad they got it right.
How surprised were you that they overturned it?
I don't know. I was just sitting there with my stuff on. I mean, they got a lot of great umpires out here. I mean, there's a lot of them. So they put their heads together and try to get it right. That's
nothing. Just like I said before, in that one series against the Cardinals, and I just stick with my plan.
What was your reaction when you saw Carlos Beltran come up with that ball back there?
After game 1 down on that field here at Fenway Park, an 8-1 final. Boston wins it. It started with this reversal of a call at second base, and then the Red Sox, like all good teams do, took advantage, and they got the performance that John Lester could have hoped for coming into game 1. He gets the win. So does Boston. Final 8-1. Back after this.